Right, we are now
There's quality.
live, and we've got Richie, Mackem Cabbie, Davey, and Richie show. Davey's still on the recovery. Richie, how you doing? And right, we are now.
There's
How's your
quality.
nerves holding up? Oh, I'll just mute my other channel here. How's your nerves holding up? All right.
I'm all right, actually, Cabbie. I'm not as nervous as last time. I think it's just because obviously we've got that one goal advantage and we're playing at home as well. So I think tomorrow's when the nerves will start kicking in. So obviously wake up first thing in the morning, then it's gonna be with you all day. But I'm feeling quite positive after that match, mate. Just the way we played, some of the performances obviously being put in. I never expected to beat them down there, so I'm feeling good. I don't know about you, like, but I am like,
Well, I just went on Total Sport, man, and you'll have to listen back. It's funny. I was like, just have this. It's me ADHD brain guns on overdrive, and it's just been on loop
aye,
all day. Working what can gone right, what can gone wrong, what can gone right, what can gone wrong, and
yeah,
I was saying to Nate, I says we've got to be careful here. I says I just hope Sunderland didn't go out there and put 20 behind the ball. I hope we just don't.
aye,
I hope we don't start the game tomorrow saying right, Coventry, come at us, because
yeah, I know.
what'll happen, right? They'll score first early on within the first 5 minutes. Okay. What was a really, really noisy stadium of light, all the pre-match entertainment and everything, and the welcoming the bus in with flares and stuff. Coventry get an early goal. That stadium becomes anxiety capital of the anxiety world, and it goes dead. And all the Coventry fans are singing. So it can only take a matter of minutes for Coventry City to turn that stadium of light literally into a home game for them. Because the Sunderland fans will be on edge. You know how quiet the stadium of light guns. Can you imagine 5 minutes gone and it's 2-2? How quiet that stadium will be. All the Coventry fans are singing. And it can be a very uncomfortable place, a stadium of light, for the Sunderland players. And I just hope that they didn't start off with that mentality. I hope they didn't get up there and say, like, right, I hope they just read us and say, right, we've got to defend. Absolutely defend like beavers. Put our dams up and say, right, everybody come at us. Because that's not the way to do it, Rich. It's not the way to do it. We should be going out there and saying, like, well, why should we defend a 2-1 lead? Why don't we extend it? And even if we did extend it and say we made it 3-1, it's still dangerous because they can get too complacent thinking, job done. And that's what they must not fall into the trap do as well. If they do get, let's say, a 3-1 lead, to thinking that they're there. There's so much mental stuff upstairs that they've got to be switched on for. Not forget the skill, forget the parades, forget there's a noisy stadium of light. It's a mental thing. It's how mentally the lads are going to be prepared tomorrow. What do you reckon?
Yeah. I see that point of view, and I understand why you're thinking it, and obviously there's vast amount of fans from what I can gather on social media thinking the same way, but I think the opposite's going to happen, Cabby. I think we're going to go out and get an early goal. Well, that's what I would like to see, but I can't see we're sitting back from minute one. I don't think he would do that, like you say. But I want to go out, get an early goal, and then play the counter-attacking game that we played the other night because that worked so well. And if we can frustrate them, and then hit them on the counter-attack again, that's where our strengths are. But I can't see him just sitting back. I think it would be a big mistake, like you said, if he is just going to sit back. But I think we're going to give it to them tomorrow night, and I think we're going in full confidence.
Do you think
There's no question about that? Like,
do you think you should stick with the same formation?
I think he shouldn't make any changes. It's the old cliche, isn't it, Cabby? Don't change a winning team. I think he should just keep the same team. Let them go out, do the same job as what they did on Friday. I really do. Because the only worry that you've got with that, right, Cabby, is if my end out easy though picks up a knock and then we're down to one striker again. But we've got to go for it. We've got to. And then we'll put rest time in between, before the final. I think it's in a couple of weeks, maybe, is it?
Or what
There's still
also could massively ruin it. One of our players gets sent off straight away within the first 4 or 5 minutes. That'll totally knock things
yeah,
up as well. So you've got to think of all these. I know I'm negative Nancy here, but you've got to think of these things which you're not thinking about, which could happen. Do you know?
yeah,
And hopefully Regis Labrie will be saying to the players or whoever it may be, didn't get overexcited, didn't make any rash, stupid decisions, any tackles, because if you get a player sent off in the first 5 minutes, they're going to lap it up, Coventry. They'll do us. It's bye-bye
yeah.
Wembley if that's the case. If we gone down to 10 men early on, it's bye-bye. You can forget it. There's no way we'd defend for 90 minutes against Coventry City. They're too good. They're too good to defend with 10 men, if that happened. I'm not saying it's going to happen, I hope it doesn't, but they're too good to defend for 90 minutes, mate. They'll batter us, if that was the case.
Yeah, of course I will.
But we are absolutely super dangerous ourselves. I mean, Coventry have got to come at us, which means they'll be left open at the back, which would probably suit 4-4-2, because if Enzo Lafay and all that can play them balls like you had last time, and I said before, Meander and Isidore, their strengths of having balls played through on the ground and them running at the goal, because they're like freight trains, them two. There's no stopping them. There's nobody catching Meander and Isidore when they've got the ball, and it's played through to them. Even if the level of the defence, he'll just take off and leave them behind. And there's a massive good chance that Isidore and Meander will put that ball in the net when they're one-on-one with the keeper, because I think the pair of them are class.
He's so switched on at the minute, Meander. I watched the game back because obviously when you know what I mean, you do when you watch along, you can't quite pick up on every single bit that happens in the game. So when I watched it back, and what a player! He looks so switched on, so quick. You know what I mean? He's just sort of he's become quality, Meander. Like, I love him. Like, he's just something we've needed. You know what I mean? He's a breath of fresh air as well that he's brought into the club, but now he's finding form. And he was so dangerous the other night. They did not like him. You know what I mean? Their centre halves, their defensive line as a whole did not like playing against Meander. But he just looks so switched on. You know what I mean? He's not going to miss a chance. But heaps of praise for him. He just didn't stop running, Cabbie, the other night. He just didn't stop running. He was chasing every ball. He was going in. He was, you know what I mean? He had the drive in him, and it was great to see. Like, but you're right though. The way to supply them to is definitely through balls, short passing. You know what I mean? We don't need to keep launching the ball forward just because we've got two forwards up there. Keep the ball, like you say, break on them. And that Enzo Lafay pass from the other night was unbelievable, Cabbie. It was class, man.
Because that's
why. Yeah.
That system works. If Coventry did the homework and thought, like, right, the only way we're going to let Sunderland attack is if they come down the wings and get crosses in, because that's our weakness. Our weakness of attack is crosses coming in from the left, crosses coming in from the right, because we haven't got anybody really, striker-wise or forward-wise, whatever, that's good enough to put the ball in the net from a cross or a set piece. Corners we need good at. I mean, there's times when teams come to the stadium like and stifle us. It's cram-packed. And the only option we've got is down the left wing, down the right wing, getting in across, and it just we could do that. We could do that all night and not get anywhere near, because it doesn't suit our style of play. We haven't got that Niall Quinn type of a player who's cracking with his head, and Isidore, he'd get on it, but he'll put the ball 3 yards wide from being a yard out, which he has done a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, though, Cabbie, I think it'll be quite a feisty game tomorrow night. I can say from the off, both the teams are going to get into each other.
Oh, God, aye.
So, like you said, you know what I mean? We're going to have to be careful for some of the challenges and not get wound up as easy. But I can say it's going to be a bit of a battle.
I was going to catch up on some of the messages, because there's quite a few coming in already, Richie lad. Michael Gunnan, hello mate, good to see you. He says, I'm absolutely crapping myself, but I cannot help but say we're going to Wembley. Colin Major, hello Colin. It says, Cabbie, it's no good asking therapy on Total Sport. What were you thinking? And he's laughing. It was a good laugh. Good evening to Richie Rennick. He says, evening Cabbie and Richie. Ian Brown says, hi Cabbie and Richie. Sheffield Stadium is empty, unlike ours. Good evening Pixel Rich, how are you doing? Good to see you as well. He says, evening folks. He says, fancy catching you last night on the Coventry TV show last night. He says, I've been watching them a while, mate. Yeah, they're a good bunch of lads. Pixel Rich, they're all right. Most of them are on YouTube. I like to get involved in the other channels as well and get to know them. Kingfisher says, hello guys, please like and subscribe. Cheers, Kingfisher. Ian Brown says, if we concede in the first 10, we need to back the team instantly. There is a high chance of that happening. I mean, I'm not saying it's game over if Coventry do, but we want to avoid that if we can, because I like to say the atmosphere will turn like that. It'll become an exciting, noisy Stadium of Light to a deadly silent Stadium of Light at nerves, and Coventry will lap that up. Coventry will lap that up if they score within the first 5 minutes or so. So it can change. The atmosphere can change, as we all know, with a turn of the hat. If we get a third goal, like with 3-1 in aggregate, the roof will blow off. Folly Ado, the QPR fan, says, hey guys, you just need to build on the other night. A 2-0 win and it's game over. He makes it sound simple, doesn't he? We're good to see you as well. David Joblin says, Wembley, bye-bye, Coventry. Ollie says, my lineup for tomorrow is prediction 1-0 to Sunderland with Isidore scoring. He says formation 4-2-4-4-2. Pato, Hume, Meffam, Ballard, O'Neill, Neil, Job, Roberts, Isidore, Meander, and Enzo Lefebvre. Brian Craig says, evening lads, it's time for the boys to become men. Folly says, yeah, same team. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And who was on a yellow? I believe it's Dennis Serkin that's on a yellow, isn't he? Is it Serkin?
Yeah, he is. Sorry.
Ian Curry, how are you? Good to see you, mate. Are you all right? Hello to D Hall. Ollie says, I'm going to the bus parade before the match tomorrow. Stephen Jones says, this is a typical Sunderland scenario. I don't know if he's on about me with them getting an early goal. Steve Taylor, hello Steve. He says, if Serkin gets a yellow tomorrow, is he out of Wembley if we get there? Don't think he is he?
Don't think so. No.
Because you have to...
Not for 2 yellows.
You have to accumulate so many yellows over a season, but it'd be different if you got a straight red tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
But
that would make them miss the final, yeah.
That could happen to them as well, mind. John Nesbitt says, well, a very good evening, Cabbie and Richie. Good evening to you, John. Good to see you. Kingfisher79 says, would you drop 09 for Meffam? Not that 09 is playing bad. I would keep the side the same, to be honest with you. I mean, the way that side performed on Friday, I just thought it was perfect. Yeah, we're
really good defensively.
They had all the possession just about, but it's not about possession, is it? It's about scoring goals, and we stifled Coventry every time they came forward. Ballard was literally heading everything away at that box. Do you know what I mean? He's so vital for clearances, and Bellingham. I mean, look at that tackle. Look at that tackle he made in the last few minutes of the game when I don't know who it was for the Coventry, but he was just about to turn and smack it into the bottom left-hand corner, and Bellingham got his foot on it.
It was Hadji Wright.
Was it Hadji Wright? Now he's a dangerous player to watch.
Oh, aye. But that tackle, Cabbie, though, it was perfect, man. You know what I mean? He's taking a huge risk going in like that, but it was just incredible. I mean, yes, Dan Ballard was probably the man of the match overall, but I just liked the look of Job the other night. I just thought he looked brilliant. He was just giving it all for it. You know what I mean? And then that tackle at the end just sort of like cemented it for me, like. But
Stephen,
well, that's what I'm saying here, Cabbie, though. We were like really good defensively as well the other night. You know what I mean? They were very organised and we played really, really well. So
apart from that brief second when we switched off when they scored, but that's very common with a team. That the adrenaline's oozing through the veins, out the socks, and they're still in celebration mode. They switched off, and they went and scored just seconds later. Stephen Jones says, build the fans up just to massively let them down. He says, I can see where he's coming from. John says, value at the ready, lads. Ian Curry says, God, I fell asleep the other night, woke up at 10, looked on the scores without my glasses. I thought I was seeing things. Oh, can you imagine if you fell asleep tomorrow and woke up, it was full time? I just couldn't. I was wondering that, says Folly. D Hall says, we passed it over the mids to avoid their mid-block and press. They murdered us within March. Yeah, we're totally different, weren't we? Cheers, Kingfisher. Please like and subscribe. Stephen Jones also says we cannot defend for 90 minutes again. No, it's just not going to happen. If we do, then will not be gone through. I'll tell you. And Ian Cabbie says, please hit and like the subscribe button. Thank you very much. John says, what no one noticed was that Coventry were dead on their feet. I was gutted we didn't have another 10 minutes to play, as we would have finished them off. And a lot of Sunderland fans have said this as well. Has Sunderland, that consolidated themselves in the playoff spot, had nothing to play for? Is that going to really, really come good? Because of the fact that they're going to be fitter, they're going to be stronger. Coventry's had to play their backsides out right until the very end to get where they are. We haven't. Mate Ricks, hello mate Ricks. He says 3-0 tomorrow and 3-0 at Wembley. Well, he's been on the positive tablets, hasn't he? 3-0 tomorrow and 3-0 at Wembley.
Hey, you never know.
Dennis Nichols says, Cabbie, where do us Coventry fans get a drink tomorrow night? First of all, welcome on the channel, Dennis. You spoiled for choice, mate. You spoiled for choice. I mean, there's fan zones which you can mix with the Sunderland fans today, all around the ground and stuff. There's just loads. There's a pub right near the ground, but you won't be short of drink, believe me.
Right. The best one to go through for away fans, I think, is the Richie, because you will be welcome in there. It's right next to the ground.
The Richie, good
even
shout.
The Richie, it's always good and a good mix in there. Like, just avoid the sort of town centre, because you always get the odd one or two, you know what I mean? That'll spoil the for you. But there's a pub right next to the stadium as well. I forgot what it's called now. My mind's gone blank. But you'll always be welcome in there. And there's outside bars as well. So don't worry, just stay close to the stadium. That's the best advice.
Good advice, Richie, lad. Stephen Jones says, already subscribed, but remember to hit the like button. Thank you. Durham Diver, hello, mate. He says, evening, lads. Tuning in from Spain. I think it's going to be an all red and white Wembley. What a scene that will be. 2025, the year the Mags and Sunderland win at Wembley. I was thinking that today, you know.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, will we have an open top bus parade? If it did.
Of course I will. Yeah. We'll have to.
Ian Curry says 3-5-2 we need. No, he's not. Methan Ballard 09 at the back. 20 clearance he made. One away from the record. It was absolutely quality, Ian. It really was. Got 44 people in the chat already. Good evening to everyone. These messages are coming thick and fast, Richie. I enjoy reading them out. It's good to get other people's views. John Nesbitt says, squeaky bum time. For Coventry, they know if they concede tomorrow, it's game over. Even if they score, we'll just change our mindset and hit them until we eventually score. I mean, if we do score, I'm still not going to say it's game over, because like I say, you didn't want to get into that mind where we're home and dry, because that's dangerous. Do you know what I mean?
I think it will be.
You think we'll be home and dry?
The only reason I think, if we score again tomorrow, right, and if we can hold on to a 1-0, Cabbie, right, we've got, look at the bench, we've got the amount of defensive players we've got on that bench. So we've got the likes of Chris Mackem, we could probably bring off the bench. We've got Samed, we've got Alan Brown, Jensen Seal. You know what I mean? We can be horrible if we want to do defensively. And I just think, in my opinion, mate, if we get a goal and we can hold it 1-0, gets into the second half, later on, switch defensively. Just hold them off for the rest of the game. There's no way they're going to get past our defence. And especially with fresh legs off the bench and the quality that we can bring on defensively. I think that's one of the strong points, Cabbie. But I can get where you're coming from, right? And I do understand that point as well, because that it would be worrying. But I'm just feeling very positive.
No, we are capable of getting an early goal. We've done it a few times where we've straight off from the off bang get in. Do you know what I mean? And can you imagine the carnival atmosphere with the stadium like 3-1 up on aggregate? That would be buzzing, that would be absolutely buzzing. I don't think you'll have heard the stadium lights so loud in a long time.
Sold out now as well, Cabbie. I'm sure it sold out last night.
I think so, Colin Major says Mundell will be on the bench tomorrow. Don't forget what he can do. Yeah. Ian Brown says it's proper Bellingham tackle, that the 90-minute one. He's class. He turns it on, he is. Ian Curry says, I'm in the shower now, so can't moderate for 5 minutes. No problem. Make sure you wash where you sometimes can't reach. Folly says, I'll be here tomorrow night showing my support, lads. Oh, thanks, mate. He's the QPR fan. He's predicting a 2-0 win. Paul Stratton, the Coventry fan. Good evening, Paul. How are you, mate? He says, don't think Coventry will come out all guns blazing. they would be quite happy. A 0-0 at half-time, then game on. So we've all got our scenarios in our head. What could happen? Absolutely. John Nesbitt says, Ballard, that's the best centre-half display I've seen for many a year. Fantastic performance. Dennis Nichols says, cheers, lads. Good evening, Dennis. John also says, try the sheepfolds for live music and good pubs for the away fans.
Aye.
Paul Graham.
Yeah, that's a good show as well.
Good evening, Paul. Good to see you. He says, hi, lads. Nerves well kicking in now. D. Hall also says, we Chief and the Hilton for a few pints. Give the guys a like and subscribe if you're new. Says Kingfisher, thank you. Conspiracy says the Colliery Tavern is worth a shout.
That's the name of the bar. That's the bar next to the stadium. It's behind the Hilton.
Aye, that's Canny Mind.
I couldn't remember.
Good to see you.
It's always good in there.
Pixel Riches, Dennis Nichols, you'll be more than welcome at the Fans Museum just over the Weymouth Bridge in the old railway station. You will enjoy it, guaranteed. Dougie Stewart says, hi, Cabbie Richie. Good evening to you. Famous last words, Richie, says John. Susie Forrester, good evening to you. How are you? He says, evening, gentlemen. And you, Cabbie. He says, Ian Brown, hello. He says, Coventry will get a shock when they hear our atmosphere. Hope so. John Nesbitt says, this Sheffield game is pretty poor tonight. Well, yeah, I mean, I can imagine Sheffield is going to be a bit like what Sunderland were when they've already secured a place. I'm not saying there's nothing to play for, but I don't think Sheffield United have to get out of first gear, really, do they? They're through. They won that tie there. There's no way they're going to throw that away. John 73 has just popped in. We've got 48 on the channel now. Good evening, John. John 73 says, good evening, Cabbie and Richie. He says, hope you're well. Doesn't seem as tense now. Looking forward to the game. Seems like it's going to be a fantastic evening. Obviously, the last time we were in the playoffs, we were at home and we beat Luton 2-1. It's the same scoreline. We went away to Kenilworth Road with a 2-1 lead. How confident were you then when we were 2-1 up at the Stadium of Light and we took the 2-1 lead to Kenilworth Road? Were you confident then there as what you are now? Because it's the same aggregate score, but only difference is we're playing the second game at home.
More confident now because we've got a better team than what we did against Luton. You know what I mean? We had one or two, but we've got a much better team. But yeah, I felt the same. Of course I did. You know what I mean? I thought that's it. You know what I mean? But we've done the job here, and we can go down there, and we can hold on to it and things like that. But I'm not overly confident, right? I'm not saying 100% tomorrow night we're gonna win. I'm not saying that. Like I've got positive feelings at the minute, Cabbie, and I just feel like it's maybe our time. And I know I might be sort of like looking a bit too far into it, like, but you know, and he's just got the belief, and you just think, I think this is it now, like, because I think another thing as well, Cabbie, if I was Sheffield United and we win tomorrow night again, say we win 1-0 or 2-1 or whatever, I think Sheffield United would be worried about playing with, because we've went away to Coventry, we've beat them on their turf, and Coventry are no mugs.
No, they're not. And then
if we beat them at home again, Sheffield United, no disrespect to Bristol City, but they've had the easier draw, and that, and in my eyes, that's a fact. They have, you know what I mean. Bristol City's, you know, they'd hold that position in the playoffs for a while, but I just think they've had the easier draw, and then tonight they can take the foot off the pedal. I don't know. I haven't got the game on, so I can't see what's going on, but they're going to be able to take the foot off the pedal and rest players and rotation and stuff like that. But I think they'll be worried about us.
Well, Folly says, even if you score one more, it says Coventry will have to score 3. They've not done that many times this season. Well, they do, but in theory, they only have to score 2 to make it level on aggregate, and it could go to penalties. And I don't think there's many Sunderland fans confident on penalties. So yes, they'd have to score 3 to win, but to take it to penalties, they only really have to score 2. Paul Stratton says, enjoy the game. He says, what will be, will be. He says, be worried as you don't need to win. That's what he's saying. We don't need to win tomorrow. We don't. We can draw and we're through. Doesn't matter if it's 3-3, 4-4, 5-5. We're through if it's a draw. It's as simple as that.
So would you be would you be unhappy, Cabbie, if you turned out tomorrow and then from kick off, that's it, we're just sitting back counter attacking? Would you be annoyed at that? Like,
It's a big gamble, and I mean, it worked at Coventry, but doesn't necessarily say it's going to work again, because you just need that lucky deflection or that bit of bad luck or bit of fortune, or every time the ball's pummeled into the box, all it takes is a mistimed challenge to give them a penalty or a handball. So you can defend superbly, but sometimes you just get that bit of bad luck where you mistime that tackle or the ball rebounds off something and hits you on the hand and it's a handball. All sorts of things can happen. Like, obviously, it could just be a deflection or own goal. Every time that ball's pummeled into the box, it's danger potentially. Anything can happen. I don't want us to be. We're at home, mate. Nearly 50,000 at the stadium. Like, we're at home. We shouldn't be there sitting right. Come at us. No, I'm not. I didn't want that. I don't want them to say, right, come on, the Coventry. It's our church. It's our fortress. Do you know what I mean? It's
Do you know what, Cabbie? Honestly, truthfully, right? I can see that happening from kick off tomorrow. Even though I want me to go out and play on the front foot and get positive and get that early goal, so we kind of can sit back and not take the foot off the gas, but we've got a 2-0 lead. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
What I can see he's going to just sit back and counter attack and just hope to hit something on the counter. But the thing is, Cabbie, right, is you never know. Like you've just said, anything can happen when we're on the counter. We are a heck of a good counter attacking team, and I think that's our strength. But like you say, is it a negative tactic to play at home with a full house? Is the crowd going to get on the back for that? I don't know.
The way we attacked, right, Coventry City at their ground was the way we played at the beginning of the season when we were blowing teams away. Yes, we didn't blow Coventry City away. I'm not saying that, but how lethal we were when we went forward, and this is what good teams. This is what good teams do. Sunderland have played some really decent teams, better teams than us, in the past, where we've murdered them possession-wise, and then they get 2 or 3 chances and score by 3 of them. Do you know what I mean? And that's what a good side does. Counter-attacks, deadly, snake bite with a load of venom, pounce, take that, he's a punch of that. And that's what we did at Coventry, and that's what we did at the beginning of the season. When we attacked, we were lethal. We were deadly going forward. We were fast, they couldn't cope with us, lightning fast going forward, on the ground, bang. And Isidore doesn't need 2 or 3 seconds, he picks his spot and smashes it in. It's the same with Mugenda.
Oh, no.
And this knee team in that division can touch Sunderland if we are on form going forward like we have been. I don't care what anybody says, there isn't. There's not. We give Leeds a good run for the money. Do you know what I'm saying? They just so much beat us. Sheffield United, we played them off the park at the Stadium of Light. They only beat us at Bramall Lane because we missed a penalty. Burnley, we beat Burnley at the Stadium of Light. We should have beat them at their patch if it wasn't for, what happened, the 2 penalty misses. So we've played the best sides in this league, and we're certain, you can't say it, in any of them games we've been blown away by any of them, because we ain't. Coventry City we did, because we were absolutely awful that game. Don't know what was going on in their heads on that day. Maybe they're already thought that we've already in the playoffs, there's no need to play. I don't know. I really don't know. Where we going? Steve Taylor says, can you remember the defence away at Luton, Cabbie? I do. We just got bullied off the park on that day. I think we had a few injuries as well. So all the big tall defenders we had weren't there, and we had like 3'4". That was the maximum height of our defence, 3'4", the likes of Luke 09 and all that. And every time a ball came in, we just couldn't cope. Physicality, they just bullied us off the pitch. That's how they won that tie. We just couldn't cope with the balls going into the box, and that's what happened. If you remember,
they're like a basketball team, weren't they, Luton?
It was. We were like Olympus against the Harlem Globetrotters. And that's how they did it, because we did have some injuries. Ian Brown says this.
Oh wait,
you what, mate?
they're all wearing them daft headbands as well, like all the basketballers playing. I
You
remember
know,
sitting there saying to one of my mates, I was like, look at the state of these ones before. The like 4 or 5 of them looking like NBA players here.
and look where Luton Town are now. Crackers, isn't it? It's
I
absolutely
know.
mental. Ian Brown says, this is the last year in KLD's 5-year plan. He says, surely this is the time. Ian Brown says, if we can beat Coventry, we can beat any team, and he believes. And he also says, we only need to draw, but a win would be special. John Nesbitt says, Coventry are no mugs and will give us a real game tomorrow. And that's what I've kept saying as well, without trying to be too negative. I'll just try and find out what that comment is, because an advert came on. Coventry are no mugs and will give us a real game tomorrow, but they have had to play at a high tempo to just get into these playoffs. To sustain this level will be very, very difficult. And that's what I've said. I do think it could be a lifeboat for Sunderland being in the playoffs, consolidated in the playoffs with weeks to play. Could be Sunderland's lifeboat. It really, really could. And let's face it, we beat Coventry City at Coventry really without breaking sweat, because we defended a lot and we were solid at the back. But I wouldn't say we got out of third gear, would you? Because we weren't passing the ball and we weren't chasing the ball. I just thought it was a very well organised defensive display by Sunderland, and it was the case of getting them on the counter attack, and that's what we did. I wouldn't say we're knocking ourselves out because we didn't chase it, and we weren't we didn't have all the possession. So I wouldn't say we went full steam ahead against Coventry to beat them on their bit. Doug Stewart says, best form of defence is attack. Maureen Johnson says, crowd needs to be the 12th man. Kingfisher says, pieces, my finger slipped. It's easy done. David Joblin said, this is the time. Ian Curry says, well said, Cabbie. John Nesbitt says, Cabbie, if we have no confidence after the other night, I'll be totally shocked. He says, and I expect us to do the business tomorrow. Ian Brown says, put Meander on halfway line from a corner kick, and kick the ball up in the air and watch the bounce. Paul Stratton, the Coventry fan, says, we need a plan B apart from crosses after crosses. If we are to get back in the game, think you will see a formation change. And that's what you do. You have to change things around. Ian Curry says, we outplayed the top three and not scared them enough. What date is the playoff final, says Folly? Is it 2 weeks?
So I think it's the 26th, is it? Off the top of my head. Maybe the week after. I'm not sure unless I have a look on there online. So I know it's the FA Cup next weekend, so it must be the weekend after, maybe.
24th of May, says Harry.
24th, oh, there we go.
Harry also says the crowd will not allow us to go defensive, and probably would work, but the fans want to be aggressive and attacking and picking up second balls and be first best, but we must be. And Harry also says believe. Maureen says low possession ratio in the first leg, but it's what you do with possession when you have it. Without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I know we've lost the last 3 at home, Swansea, Hull, QPR, but it is looking at the fact like they were just having a kick around in the park because they're already in the playoffs, because you can't have that performance against Coventry and then look at the last 3 games at home. Because if we played like that against the last 3, we would have destroyed Swansea, Hull, and QPR respectively. Not disrespecting them, but...
Do
you know what I mean?
I won't go mad for, because we knew that was the case, but it was just the manner of it. You know what I mean? It was just game after game after game. And we get that, you know what I mean? They've probably been told to play at a certain percentage, like 70% or 65% of your normal output in the pitch. So, but I think it just angered me because it was week in and week out. And it was just the same thing over and over and over again. And then, like you say, I mean, when I seen him playing 4-4-2, I was thinking he's taking a massive risk playing that, mind off the form he's been playing. That's why I was so surprised. But I'm just, I'm glad we weren't like him. You know what I mean? That's what was bothering me, is because they're coming out saying that, we're going to switch it on, we're going to be a better team. Wait, you know what I mean? Wait and see. And I was a bit dubious about that, but there we go. We're all proved wrong, aren't we?
Dougie, yeah, absolutely. Dougie Stewart says, who is the ref tomorrow night? If anybody knows on there. Me, I'm not that bothered, but some people find that Sunderland play better with certain refs. Some refs are card happy. Anthony says, just been watching a Sheffield United fan and they are talking about how much they will have to spend in the Prem next season. And he says, talk about being overconfident or what? Look,
we do it as well, man.
I know. Sheffield United are favourites to get up. I mean, look how far ahead points-wise they've finished above everyone. The league table doesn't lie. Sheffield United are a better team than Coventry and Sunderland and Bristol City, because the league table doesn't lie. The yards ahead on points with Sunderland, even further Coventry, even further from Bristol City. Bookies have still got them as favourites. They were down to 10 men Bristol City, but they made a good job, Sheffield United. If we did get past Coventry, it's not going to be an easy day at Wembley, Sheffield United, because they're a quality side. I know they went through that patch, but I'm not talking about Wembley yet. We've got a hurdle again. Colin Major says, lads, do you think KLD will spend money if we do get into the Premier League? He's got no choice, Colin. He's got to.
Oh, he has to.
And do you think he would know that? Ian Kerry says, sorry, was meant to say I didn't take enough of our chances. Folly says, 24th, yeah, so it's a bit of time to get lads fully fit and work on some set pieces. John Nesbitt says, my date is planned out tomorrow. I'm a season card holder, but not going. I'm off early for a snooker session on the afternoon, a few bevies, back to my brothers and grub and drinks, and hopefully a win. Sounds good. Dennis Nichols, I think the Coventry fan, says, I'm almost certain you will see a change of formation from us. Guys, he says, Wright's got to go in the middle. He's no threat to you on the left. But that's what you do. And if you change formation and it's not working what we're doing, then we'll change our formation. We'll have to. I mean, Regis Labrie will have all this worked out. He's not daft. He'll know that Coventry could change formation, and he's got to have a plan B, C, D, E, F. Regis Labrie, they've got to. You've got to be like snooker. You've got to think shots ahead, not the shot that you're on. You've got to think the next 3 or 4 shots after that, and that's what Regis Labrie's got to do tomorrow. He's got to think plan B, C, D. If this isn't working, he's got to. And I'm sure he will. To be honest, we did a smash and grab against you, says QPR. I wouldn't say it was a smash and grab, mate. I think you deserved your win. We weren't in it on that game. I watched it all. You deserved that win. I wouldn't say it was a smash and grab. You did play well. Ian Brown says, if that was Regis's game plan, not giving 100% in the last 5 games, and then to be underestimated by Coventry, he says it's worked out tremendously. We'll say that after full time tomorrow at the Stadium of Light. Let's see what happens. But so far so good. And he also says if we get a terrible ref, the fans will let him know. Durham Diver, good evening. Durham, he says my prediction is 2-1 to Sunderland. Meander to score the first goal. Ian Brown says I read something where we spent 17 million on our team and Sheffield United spent 117 million. That's what you call the parachute payments, though, isn't it? That's what it does. It gives you that feed which other teams don't have. Anthony says, I think KLD will sell the club if we go up. Well, that's a big shout, isn't it? Is that Jacob coming in? Hello, Jacob. How are you doing?
Not bad, thanks. I've just got off a TikTok live. I was being a moderator for a Sunderland content creator.
Oh, well, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, she's called, if anyone's on TikTok in the comments, go follow her. She's called Mackem's on the Road.
Oh, I've seen her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's a good lass.
It's from South Shields.
She is Richie. She is Richie. I met her at the QPR game, and when I told her who it was, she's like, oh my God. Because he said, "Oh, it's Jacob from Your Lives," and no, yeah, she's class.
Oh, good. You enjoy it, eh?
Yeah.
Just reading some more of these messages as well. Please like and subscribe to Kingfisher, Ian Brown. No, Anthony says, I think KLD will sell the club if we go up. Big statement. Ian also says, I was wondering why Wright was on the left when he scored a hat-trick against us in the middle. He also says, Regis said on his interview, whatever Cov does, we will adapt in an instance. Steve Taylor says, hi guys, referee tomorrow is Andrew Marley. Ollie says, Richie, give us a song ×3. John O'Connor, hello John, said we are going to win Friday. Got the same feeling we do it Tuesday. Jacob, what's your feeling for tomorrow?
I think we're going to do it. I think we can go all the way and do it.
Are you positive
2-0.
as well, yeah?
Yeah, I wasn't going into Friday, but what a performance it was, you know. Honestly, I just couldn't believe it, you know. I think it's our time now and we deserve it.
Maybe I'm being too
When you seen 4-4-2, like? When you seen 4-4-2 come up, Jacob, what did you reckon there, like?
I don't know. When I saw the lineup, I thought it's pretty good. But I think maybe I'd like him to see maybe do Ballard and Meppen at the back, you know, tomorrow, just for a bit of change. Not saying 09's bad because he's class, but maybe try that out. But no, I think we'll do it tomorrow. I think.
Well, Sheffield United have booked a place to Wembley. They're 1-0 up, so they're now 4-0. So
it was destined, wasn't it? Because that red card really knocked Bristol back, I think. But
oh yes,
and it's the same ref who sent Hume off, but it wasn't a red. You know, for Bristol either. Oliver Langford.
Oh, was it the same one? Was it?
Yeah, it were Ollie.
And he sacked him then. He's terrible.
Demote him to National League or League Two.
What? That's our ref on tomorrow.
No, that was ref in the Sheffield United and you know Bristol game where.
Jacob, what did you think of the Coventry match then on Friday?
Oh, brilliant!
Did you go?
Great performance. Yeah, I think it's a shame Coventry got back like a minute after we scored, but apart from that, we were good. I think we looked a bit dangerous, didn't we? Like, Meander took it well, didn't he, with his goal? It was just a mistake from Coventry, and then bang. And same with Wilson, he took it well. So I think let's just hope we can kill the game off.
He put pressure, didn't he, on the right back with Fair? Didn't give him a minute, and then you could see Meander was just sitting behind the other centre half. That was class, though.
Yeah.
So you were there, Jacob, were you?
No, I was at the QPR one, not at Coventry. I watched it at a friend's house.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was a gift from Coventry City, but you've still got to get that gift and open it successfully to see what's inside. Meaning the fact, like, you still got to you still had a job to do, Meander. You know what I mean? And
oh yeah.
A lot of the Coventry fans are saying as well, what's going to massively help you is the fact, like, their keeper is Sunderland through and through. Did you know that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is, and he's an ex-Sunderland youth player, wasn't he? He comes through the academy. I've seen it on Nick Barnes' Twitter. He's
Sunderland through and through. It's in his veins, so maybe a penalty shootout wouldn't be a bad thing. Oh my God. Yeah. That must be difficult. I mean, imagine being, right, Sunderland through and through. It's in your veins, just like what we are. And you're a goalkeeper for the opposition in a semi-final of a playoff. I mean, that's got to be awkward, hasn't it?
Hey. He's got a job to do, man. You know what I mean? But he's got a job to do at the end of the day. It must be horrible, like you say, like Cabbie, but at the end of the day, you're getting paid a couple of grand. So
I know.
It's just like if we get promoted next season, it'll be the same thing if we play Jordan Pickford. You know what I mean?
Catch up on more chat as well. Bristolian Mackem says, all right, lads, how are you doing? John73 says, heard there will be VAR at Wembley. Yes, there will be. Colin Major says, talking about refs, he says, do you not think they should keep the same one into the legit semi-final?
That's the playoff he's on about?
Yeah.
Or is it just... Yeah.
Should they keep the same referee that refereed on Friday for this game tomorrow?
No, I think it should be different. I think it should just be different.
Packer Andrew, hello Packer, says, hey lads, I did a live stream tonight, had no one watching, but it was still good. That's, you just got to keep bashing on, Packer, mate. That's what you've got to do.
Yeah.
When I started off,
Well,
I hadn't even watched...
will it?
No.
It's not going to work tonight. It's just going to take time, but you keep going.
You do. I mean, I started off nobody watching. I mean, I've been going a couple of years now and still nobody's watching. So, Folly to Do says, it's the right TV rights are earner for the clubs and it's a lot of money. The playoffs is huge. I think the playoff final is the most lucrative game of football there is, isn't there? For domestic wise,
200 million or something. Something like that, is just 200 million.
D Hall says Andrew Madeley is the ref, born 5th of September 1983, is an English referee from Huddersfield. Steve said the same, and John Nesbitt says, listen everyone, he says, think positive. He says, yes, it's normal to be nervous, but it's worse for the Coventry players knowing they can't afford to concede. I mean, what do you think the proceedings going to happen tomorrow? Then, in your head, Jake, what do you think's going to happen?
In what way? Just
how the game
in general.
How the game's going to pan out. I went on Total Sport today, and I went, what does not want to happen is for Coventry to get an early goal. And then they'll turn this 49,000 stadium light, the fans, into a library because they'll be anxious. That was my negative side of things. But what are you thinking how it could turn out? How you think it's going to go?
I think it's going to be a tight game, but I still think we're going to win it. I think we can just nick it. 2-0 win for us.
It's mad, isn't it? The team that was our nemesis that we were dreading playing. All of a sudden, everybody's massively confident. Crazy, isn't it?
Shows you. I think the hoodoo's coming to an end now, isn't it?
Well, I hope so.
Coventry hoodoo.
We all know Coventry's threat, like I say. They've got that, is it Rudini, whatever, and had you right there. But we had them in the pockets, didn't we, on Friday night? You're not worried about...
Big midfield Coventry.
You're not worried about Lampard? I mean, he's had his critics as manager, but there's no man got more experience in big games than Frank Lampard as a player-wise. But has he got the tactical nous to manage his team? I mean, it's fantastic what he's done with Coventry. You can't say that. He has done a good job where they were when he took over.
Mm-hmm. I was so like near the bottom of the Championship, winter, and then he's kept them right up. But I'm unsure about Lampard. I haven't really made my mind up. It's like all these new managers coming through, like him, Gerrard, Rooney. I just can't make my mind up about them. You know what I mean? But Lampard's obviously going to have that experience. He's going to be able to pass down to the players. Of course, he is. He's going to be able to give them some brilliant advice compared to maybe what Lebrie is going to be able to give our players. But I think, and I'm not just saying that, Cabbie and Jacob, but I think Lebrie's a master tactician compared to what Lampard is. You know what I mean? I think he's more of a man motivator, maybe. You know what I mean? But I think we've got the better manager out the two, and I think he's going to prove it tomorrow night.
Well, he certainly proved that on Friday, didn't he? He certainly got that right. What time are we going live tomorrow, Folly says? I'll be about from 7:30. I might be coming in from work, just chilling out and that. D Hall, Kingfisher says, keep the faith, we'll pull it off. Please like and subscribe. Thanks, Kingfisher. D Hall says, Coventry look knackered after 70 minutes. Well, they will do. Like I say, look how hard they had to play. Maureen says, Coventry done well. All credit to Frank Lampard, but it ain't their time. Maybe next year. Brave words from Maureen there. Pixel says, looks like Sheffield in the final. Now to fear there, he says. Keep the faith.
Aye.
Durham Diver says, hope the Stadium of Light is bouncing tomorrow night. Cannot wait to tune in tomorrow night, lads. Good night from Spain. Good night, Durham Diver. Sleep well, mate. Chris Law says, stop worrying about them getting an early goal. We're going to get one.
Aye. Yes.
Michael Atkinson says, at the end of the day, it's a home game. A win or a draw will be enough. Can't make it any more complicated than that. All we've got to do is win or draw. Easy, innit?
Honestly, right? I'll be happy if we go 1-0 up and we just sit back for the rest of the game and defend all game. Yes, it'll get on some people's nerves, and some of the fans might get a bit riled up about it. But that's where our strengths are. We're a good defensive team. You know what I mean? We're a heck of a good team as well in the counter attack. They're going to be fearing that. And if we could just nick a goal, sit back. The only thing I'm worried about with Coventry is set pieces, corners, free kicks. They've got a much bigger team than we. Yes, we've got a bit of physicality ourselves with the likes of Ballard and Job, etc. You know what I mean? But we're going to have to be careful with that. But if we, like I say, if we just go 1-0 up and sit back the rest of the game, no problem to me. I'll be quite happy watching that.
John 73 says, "How Davey give us a shout?" I'm sure he will do from his home. Jacob, do you think we should keep the same side, same formation tomorrow?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I think I'd probably actually do Ballard and Meppen at the back, just see how it goes, but apart from that, same lineup, more or less.
Because he was a rock Ballard, like, weren't he? So apparently the fans are all going to do this parade for the bus coming into the stadium with flares. There's going to be there in the thousands. Some of them are going to be there from 6 o'clock.
Yeah, they're asking to get down for 6 o'clock. Aye, that's right.
So, a good thing or a bad thing? Do you think it's going to help the players make them more nervous or what? Or do you think it'll be class?
I'll be mint. If I was a player sitting on the bus like that, Cabbie, I would have tingles going down me back and all over me body. I'll be well up for it. You know what I mean? I think they deserve it as well, you know what I mean? They've come out in that game, they beat Coventry, man. The least we can do is, show that we're behind them, because that's what they need.
Sorry I'm late, says Ken Walton. You're fine, don't worry about it. He's a member of the channel. He says, just enjoy tomorrow night, and believe. Pixel Rich says, Richie, if we get an early goal, which I hope, we will not stand the onslaught to sit back and defend. Studden 81 says, how is Davey? Davey's doing all right. He's slowly getting there, mate. Michael Atkinson says, if we get the first goal, Coventry will have to commit more men forward, which would play into our counter-attacking strengths. Just have to get that first goal. Bring the support, bring the noise, says D. Hall. Ian Brown says, bring Mundell on the last 20-30 minutes just to get some mins ready for Wembley if we need them. Yeah, so in the past when we've been when we've had the lesser teams come to the stadium and they've had everybody behind the ball, I don't think Coventry can do that. The only time they can do that, like I say, is if they got an early goal and they brought an aggregate score. They know how crap Sunderland are at breaking down a team where there's everybody behind the ball. We're not very good at doing that, are we?
Yeah. No.
We're good at counter-attacking, but they lap it up if they get that. They get that early goal, and they know they'll have seen how many games where teams have parked the bus at the stadium and Sunderland just can't get through. And they'll know that'll be our weakness. So, if that was the case, what plan B do you think we should have? If they decide to have everybody behind the ball and say, right, let's go for this draw, we'll hopefully get into penalties, whatever. Have we got a different tactic to? Because at the moment, we're just focused on counter-attacking football or sliding the balls through to Mienda and Lafay and that. For Mienda and Isidore. But it's a different ball game when you've got teams sitting right back with 11 men behind the ball, haven't you? It's a total different way to go forward.
I don't think anyone's sussed that answer out yet, Cabbie. I mean, we see it in the Premier League, you know what I mean? The teams go mad when other teams do that in the Premier League. I remember who it was. It happened this week as well. They were going off it about the opposition's tactics for doing it. But I think it's just one of them things. I mean, if you've got 7 or 8 men behind the ball, and we're committing maybe 5 men forward, it's just at the unfair, advantage against me. But I just I think lots of teams struggle like that now, Cabbie. Lots of teams start to struggle to break defences down, not just sit back like that. But you're right, we've never been able to overcome it. But can you see Coventry actually doing that tomorrow night? Because I can't, mate. I can just see them coming on the onslaught and trying to make it a dirty game. Maybe try and get some bookings in there, you know what I mean? But
If they get an early goal, I can see them doing it because they know how crap we are on penalties. But mind you, the Coventry fans here, they're also crap at penalties and all. But if they got an early goal, then they could certainly do that and really frustrate the Sunderland crowd and the team by parking everybody back. Do you know what I mean? And when a team gets frustrated, your tempers get higher, you start putting rash challenges in. It's like I say, it's a lot of mental mind games going on. So I do think it's vital that Sunderland get off the blocks and get that first goal. I definitely do.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be... Well, it's not guaranteed because you could be 3-1 up and Coventry could still score 2. But you cannot put yourself in a better position getting that first goal. That first goal tomorrow night's going to be vital. What do you reckon, Jacob? First goal is important, whoever scores it?
Oh, yeah.
Would you be worried if...
Coventry are back in it, aren't they? If they get the first goal, they're back in it. But we shouldn't let our heads drop if they get the first goal. We should still keep going at it. We could still win the game and go through.
Would you be worried if they took the lead early on?
I'd be a bit more nervous, but I'd still wouldn't lose hope.
Paul Stratton says Coventry defence is poor. He says don't have the ability to defend low block, he thinks. Hall says Coventry will leave gaps if they push forward. John73 says daughter reckons 3-0 to the lads. I'm just going to enjoy the game. And that's the best thing, I suppose, enjoy the game. If, by whatever happened, we didn't get through and we got knocked out, that was next season to look forward to, isn't there? And let's face it, we're all going to be there still, aren't we? That's if.
Well, of course.
You know what I mean? So, it's not all doom and gloom that way, but...
I'll be, man, it's our time now. I believe it, man. It's our time. We're going to have some happiness back. We are.
Folly says, got to go, Cabbie, Richie, Jacob. See you tomorrow night. Take it easy, mate. Thanks for popping in. That's Folly, the QPR fan there. Michael Atkinson says, if that were to be the case and Coventry part the bus, he says, we will be relying on Lefay and Munnell to unlock the door. Maybe Roberts too, if he suddenly remembers how. Fernie, the Leeds fan. Good evening, Fernie. How are you doing, mate? He's obviously celebrating... Well, he's probably still having a hangover after celebrating Leeds' title. He says, think you will do it tomorrow night. He says, go and book your Wembley tickets. So there we go. That's Leeds fans telling us to go and book our Wembley tickets. John says, Coventry are a decent club with a good set of fans, but that's it. They're not Real Madrid, just a hard-working side. It'll be a hard game tomorrow. First 20 minutes will tell us where the result will go. Look at every team in that championship. It's a hard game, really, when you think of it. D. Hall says, need to put Lamps light out. Ian Brown, I agree with Richie. This is our time. And Pixel says, nice one, Richie. Yeah, it's our time. So we've got 2 minutes. It's nearly time for us. Let's go for some predictions then. Jacob, what are you going for tomorrow then?
2-0 Sunderland.
Oh, nice 2-0 Sunderland. That'll make it 4-1 in aggregate. Comfortable. Any goal scorers?
Eliza Mayenda and Enzo Lefay.
Oh, Lefay to get one. What about you, Richie?
I'm going for a 1-0. And I think Mayenda's going to get another one. That's all we need.
1-0, a dodgy 1-0.
Yep.
What am I going to go for? Christ almighty.
Didn't say 0-0 Cobbies like you normally do. Oh,
Oh, man, it's just so hard to choose. Oh, I'm going to go 3-0 Sunderland. I watched that Sunderland-Everton game because it was on that day when Big Sam made Sunderland safe and Sunderland put Newcastle and Norwich down. And I would love to... I hope from that's a little bit of an omen. And I'm hoping we have the same night under the lights in the darkness at the stadium light will blow the roof off. I'm hoping something similar to that. Because we have got the talent to do it. Let's just not forget that. We have got the talent in that squad. Ian Brown says, great show, lads. Thanks a lot, mate. Fernie says 3-1 to Sunderland, so Leeds fans are confident. Steve Taylor says 1-1. My prediction is 1-0 Sunderland, said Ollie. Hall says 1-1. Ollie says, bye, Cabbie, Richie, Jacob. Good show tonight. Bring the noise. Absolutely. Kingfisher says, would like Roberts to get on the score sheet for once. Like and subscribe. Thank you. There we go now. Maureen Johnson says, I had an appalling experience at Wembley the last time I went. Ended up in the bin store being moved by the stewards. Eh? In the bin store? How did you manage that? Do you mean bin in the shop or the actual recycling centre? Great show, says Ian Brown. See you lads on Friday. Celebrating. He's going 1-1. Colin Major says, look lads, what will be will be. If we don't go up, it was worth it just to beat Coventry. And we'll say if we did get knocked out tomorrow, we won Coventry. We won, but we didn't beat them. That's what we'll end up saying. We won, but we didn't beat them.
But we are going to beat them, and we are going to go through, so there we go.
Kingfisher says 2-0 Sunderland. Paul Stratton, the Coventry fan, says 1-0 to Coventry. And then, of course, it is the lottery of the penalties. Pixel says, great show again tonight. Missed the last couple being on holiday. We can always watch it back. Joys of retirement. 2-1 tomorrow. Chris Gore says 2-0. Same scorers, just the other way around. Mienda and Isidore. Michael Atkinson says it's funny. We're all hoping to win the playoffs so that we can spend the next season getting beat properly rather than failing and spending next season's winning lots of games. Strange, isn't it? Yeah, I know, but it's just the buzz, isn't it, getting to the Premier League? I mean, Colin Major's going for 3-0. John Nesbitt says, good night, lads. Enjoy the ride tomorrow. 1-1, that's enough. Ollie says, bye-bye. Good show tonight. Bring the noise. Dougie Stewart says 2-2. Is Richie on tomorrow night, Fernie? Yes, he is on tomorrow night. Caps and all. Dennis Nichols says 2-0 to Coventry. He's a Coventry City fan. Welcome on the channel, mate. And he says 2-0 to the lads. And he says, play up Sky Blues. And why wouldn't you back your own team? He's going for the 2-0.
Oh, best of luck.
Best of luck. They made the best team win. Morgan says, actually, with the bins was in the way end Wembley. Stewards Wembley stewards was being moved by them. Oh, right. It was the bins. You've had an entertaining thingy then. So then, were you watching the match, Jacob?
Might be doing it at a friend's house where I was at Friday. He's a Liverpool fan, but he let us come on. Well, we'd have watched it at home, but he had an idea of watching it at his house, so we did. So I might be going there tomorrow, but if not, I'll be watching it at home, screaming at the TV, me and my dad.
You'll either be celebrating or chucking the TV out the window. Fernie says, have a good night. Catch you tomorrow night. Fernie, thanks a lot, mate. And we might see you in the Premier League. It seems mad saying it. So I'll say good night from Richie and Jacob, the Yorkshire Mackem. Enjoy the rest of your night. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll catch you later. Thanks for popping in. And we'll go again tomorrow.